Is MAGA a cult? Let's read the characteristics of a cult. Charisma and influence. They possess exceptional charm, that's debatable, dynamicism and persuasive skills to draw in and hold followers. Narcissistic and exploitative. Often driven by ego. They may display narcissism and psychopathy. Yeah. Authoritarian control. They dictate members' lives from beliefs to relationships, punishing dissent and demanding total obedience. Check. Claim divine or special knowledge. They present themselves as uniquely enlightened, possessing secrets or powers unavailable to others. Christian nationalism, right? God told me everything. Anything you want to do, just slap a God label on there. Check. Isolation. Us versus them. Members are encouraged to cut ties with outside family and see the cult as the sole source of truth, right? Radical left, Antifa, the brown people, the Somalians, the undocumented immigrants. Everybody's your enemy except for me. Check. Manipulation. They use psychological tactics like sleep deprivation, chanting, or guilt to break down defenses and ensure conformity. Manipulation. Check. Cult of personality. They become the central focus with their persona and teachings paramount, often creating a warped ideal. You can check that about 10 times. Antisocial tendencies. Love bombing, informational control, unusual teachings, exploitation. Some exhibit antisocial personality traits, lacking remorse or empathy for victims as seen in figures like Jim Jones or Keith Raniere. Check, 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 check. It's a cult. What do you see at his rallies? Right? A bunch of white trash people with 3 teeth. Yeah, Trump 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, because, I'm a dumbass. Because they're addicted to him. They're addicted to the cruelty, to the meanness of it. One of the things in here that I'm going to talk about is Schadenfreude. They love the suffering of others. Now, let's look at his sycophants. These are the things that I pulled up today that they're naming after him in adoration of their Antichrist. The House Speaker, Mike Johnson, his little white nationalist lackey, gave him a America First Award. It was an eagle. While he just bombed a school in Iran that murdered over 150 children. While he's tanking the economy, lost 92,000 jobs. Yes, master, that's what he does. This is a cult. March 31st, Ron DeSantis renamed the Palm Beach International Airport President Donald J. Trump International Airport. A section of Florida was named Donald J. Trump Boulevard in Florida. The John F. Kennedy Center, named after Trump. Currency. He now wants to put his autograph on every piece of U.S. currency. Right now, it's happening. He's also putting it on coins. The U.S. Institute of Peace has his name on it. He's also in charge, the president of the Kennedy Center. December 2025, Fleet Week, that all of the new U.S. Navy vessels are going to be called Trump-class battleships. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. And then last year, or even earlier this year, he started putting big banners on buildings, like the Department of Education. That's rich, coming from the guy that had a fake college. Like, it looked like Nazi Germany because it was to worship himself. And it's right now, savings accounts and investments accounts towards children with Trump. He has his picture on national park passes. Go look at like Yellowstone, Yosemite. His face is right next to George Washington. It's sick. Trump RX. Just wait 2 weeks for the last 10 years. You'll have a health care plan. But now he has his name on Trump RX, whatever the hell that even is. What is he selling? Like injecting bleach or UV light into your ass so you can treat COVID-19? He's told the owners of the Commanders that he wants to pass legislation to name the stadium after him. This isn't a joke. Congress from New York Republicans, Claudia Tenney, she wanted to designate June 14th as Trump's birthday and Flag Day. Florida Republican Greg Steube introduced legislation to call the Washington-era transit station to be named the Trump train. You can't make this shit up, man. The last one. North Carolina Republican Addison McDowell, Trump bootlicker, white nationalist, because she's a Christian. She wants to rename the Dulles International Airport as Donald J. Trump International Airport. Now, if that doesn't scream cult, I don't know what does. It doesn't matter. This is how cults work. It doesn't matter. Logic, reason. You could show them videotapes. Donald Trump could eat a live baby on national TV and they wouldn't leave him. Even now, when the economy's on the toilet, and his approval rating, it's lower than COVID. Like, COVID had a better approval rating than him. But it's still at 33%. 33% of people voted still think he's doing a good job because they're stupid. Those are the cults. Now, I don't think it's a third of the entire country, but this is how cults work. It is devoid of critical thinking. He hates the same people they do. That's how it works. He is a narcissist just like them. He feeds into their white supremacy, their narcissism, their victimhood, right? That's what they get off on. And when you look at people on the right, the number one cause of death is what? For children? Gun violence. But what are they talking about? Grievance, right? Can you tell me what's a man and a woman? Do you have tampons in bathrooms? Ooh, let's get boys out of the men's bathrooms or men out of the women's bathrooms because that's the worst thing. And this, us versus them, is exactly what he did. It's a cult. I would say it's a cult of white supremacy. It really is. There is nothing he can do. He can charge them for Kool-Aid and they would still blame the libs. Right now, gas is going up. And I've seen MAGA. Well, if Donald Trump says it's for the best, I'm good with it. He's paying like $6 a gallon for gas. Now, when Biden was president, that was a bridge too far. I couldn't vote for the black lady because gas was too expensive. Now that my cult leader's in the presidency, it's a blessing from God. And that's a big part of this. When you're raised in the white evangelical church, many of them are not Christians. They are religious white nationalists, and they weaponize the Bible. When you go to a church, you are told what to think, what to do, what to believe. And if you question it, you're a sinner. You're a bad person. You're going to burn in hell, and you better repent to Jesus because how dare you question God? That's how you get here. You take out critical thinking. What are they told to believe, right? Abortion and being gay are the worst. It doesn't even say that in the Bible. The book of James, as an example, says, if you break one commandment, you're guilty of breaking all of them. A sin is a sin is a sin. But what they've done is, because they don't have more than 3 brain cells and 6 teeth, they can't think outside of it. So when you watch people vote in like Kentucky, and I saw people doing this, well, what's your number one issue? Oh, I'm pro-life, it's abortion. Oh, what about the economy? I'm pro-life. Oh, how about gun violence? I'm pro-life. How about universal health care? I'm pro-life. That's the only thing they vote on because it's a cult. The church has done an outstanding job in a sick way of taking away critical thinking through religious indoctrination. They have weaponized people's stupidity and they have scared them. And they believe that part of this country, anybody that doesn't share the exact same faith as them, which is white Christianity, that you're all going to burn in hell. And they literally view the Democratic Party as evil and they're all going to burn in hell. Go listen to these right-wing pastors. They're all over the place. They're nuts. They call Democrats demons and they buy into it. They believe it. It is us versus them, good versus evil. All you have to do is throw God into it and they believe it. Look at the Catholics. Most Catholics don't even own a Bible. What do? They go to church and they listen to whatever the pastor tells them. And that's their belief system. What if the pastor's wrong? You never question it. But that's how you get this cult mentality. You tell people what to think again and again and again and again. And you're seeing it finally cracking a little bit for some of these white supremacists, right? Well, I was a fool for 3 years. I was lied to. Because they didn't critically think the facts. And they're in a cult. That's how cults work. believe the leader, believe them, and everybody else is fake news. What do you see right now? The man is literally on stage like a bumbling dumbass going, I have 100% approval rating. But they believe it. His base believes it because they're stupid. The war's going great. One day he says, we're in Iran. Oh, for nuclear weapons. Then we're there for our allies. And then we're there for the gas. And then we don't need the Strait of Hormuz. But then we do need the Strait. But then we need our allies. It's a cult. They don't care. It's the perception of strength that helps them with the narcissism, us versus them, bigotry, indoctrination, victimhood. And you take it all together in this big pile of gumbo and you have yourself a MAGA cult. The only way they can leave the cult is nothing we can say. There is nothing that we can tell them. They have to suffer the effects of their vote. That is the only way. They're going to have to pay $8 for gas, $10 for gas, $20 for gas. They're going to have to lose their jobs. They're going to have to lose their health care. They're going to have to lose their cars. They're going to have to decide between food and paying the rent. They're going to have to suffer before the cult mentality breaks. Until reality literally smacks them in the face, they will never turn because they don't want to. There's nothing you can do. That's why I don't talk to them. Because it's not worth my time. They don't care about reality. It's a cult. I happen to be a person of faith, right? Only a fool is going to argue with the fool. If I know that they're dumb, that they don't believe anything that's true, why have a debate with them? Because that makes me a fool. That's why I don't talk to MAGA. That's the only way the cult's going to break, my friends. It's the only way. Unfortunately, we're all in this horror show together with this cult, this Jim Jones cult. Have a good day.